Alright, so this video is for my mini tarot cards. These are my 4, technically 5 mini decks. You can see one standard size tarot card is like the size of all 4 decks put together. I like miniature things. I have a miniature dollhouse that I am in the process of building. I have a miniature, like, it's like a single room type of thing that you can get on the internet, and that my parents got me for Christmas that I'm going to be putting together. I've built a miniature library. If I can get my mom to take pictures of it, I'll post pictures on my Instagram, and I'll try to link that in the comments below, where you can see my tiny library that I built. The first one is this tiny universal weight tarot. I don't actually use this, but it's so tiny. Ah! Oh, there you go. It's too tiny to hold. As you can see, it's so tiny. It's impossible to hold. The backs. I don't work with this deck because, as you can see, just trying to hold it and it goes everywhere. Oh, I'll pick that up later. Just shove him off camera. Alright. That was unintentional, but there you go. I don't work with that deck, but I like having it around just for the, I don't know, just to say I have a tiny tarot deck, yeah. Alright, so these are my 4 mini decks. I will say on this deck, the Royo Dark Tarot, there is nudity, so be warned on that. So we'll go ahead and pull these 4 cards out and show you what we got. Alright, so this is the Tarot of Pagan Cats. Start with this one. I will attempt to zoom in. Alright. We're zoomed in. Sorry for my big hand. Alright, so my favorite Majors card on this one is Justice. I like the Sphinx. He's got his little paws curled in. I like and I apologize if there's a weird break in this video. I had to sneeze, and I didn't want to sneeze into the camera. So as I was saying, I like the wings on this little Sphinx cat. And you got the scales up here. The whole like Egyptian feel of it, and I just really I like that as a Justice card. My favorite Cups card is the Ace of Cups. I like the lilies there. The cat just looks so peaceful, all curled around that cup. Even with the water flowing all around her. She just looks peaceful. I don't know why I said her. You can't tell. And then the Two of Swords. I like that the cat is walking on a tightrope between the 2 swords. I think that's really cool. And it's blindfolded, so it plays into the whole blindfolded aspect of the traditional Two of Swords card. I think it's really cool. And then my favorite Pentacles card is the 8 of Pentacles for this one. I like it because it's got magic going on. And all the coins look different up there. And then my favorite Wands card is the 8 of Wands. I like how down at the bottom here you've got wands, swords, little pentacle, and cup. For each of the 4 elements, and the wands are flying towards the moon. There's a little cat there directing them. So yeah, so those are my favorite cards. I did want to point out on this one, because I think it's really cool. So in the sword suit, the 4 of Swords Ten of Swords connects. So you can see it's the same. Oh, sorry. These other ones out of the way. It's the same scene, just at a different time there. So the Four of Swords is when the cat is at rest. All statues, sprinkling magic or something. Candles are lit. Everything's nice and peaceful. And then the Ten of Swords is after the light goes out and the cat appears to have, I don't know, died maybe, or ascended. But it's not there. It's a much sadder scene, but it's the same scene. So I thought that was really cool. So that's the Tarot of the Pagan Cats. So we will go to the next one, next mini deck. Alright, so this is the Nicoletta Ceccoli mini tarot. This is actually gifted to me by a friend. She had it and didn't really use it. I will say this is not a deck I would have been drawn to had I seen it in the store. It's a little bit creepy, not gonna lie, but it works. I work well with it. I don't know, somehow we just work well together, and I actually I very much enjoy using this creepy little deck. Go ahead and go through my favorite cards. Sorry about that. Still learning my setup, so I'm bump the camera every now and then, trying not to. Alright, I'll start with my favorite major arcana, which is the Empress card. Again, I am afraid of spiders, so God only knows why I like this card. I think it's a very unusual Empress card. Most Empress cards, you know, you see the woman, you know, on the throne, and the, you know, in the meadow, the animals surrounding her. Sometimes she's pregnant. It's just very like Earth Mother energy, and this one is a bit of a creepier take on that. There's definitely Earth Mother energy there, but it's definitely more geared towards, you know, creepy crawlies. I mean, she's surrounded by bugs. But I don't know, I like it. I mean, you can't be Earth Mother energy if you're not gonna look after all of the creepy crawlies as well. I mean, they're part of the Earth, so it makes sense, and I like it. My other favorite is the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is one of my birth cards, so I tend to be pretty critical of Wheel of Fortune cards. They have to speak to me. I tend to like the traditional imagery of the Wheel of Fortune card. I do like this one though, because I feel like it has that sort of energy of like changing fortunes. You can see like the wheel behind her, and you know, she's bound and it might get stabbed by pins unless her fortune changes. So I really like that on this one. And then my favorite Cups card is this Five of Cups. I like that it's like the half bird man holding the half bird woman, and they're like complementary halves. Yeah, I don't know, I like the feel of that one. And then there's my favorite the Swords card, the Four of Swords. I think I picked this card a lot, but yeah, I just like, I don't know, there's that sense of relaxation, and at the same time there's a sense of like, you know, don't be caught off guard, kind of, you know, watch yourself sort of thing. Sorry if I don't make sense. trying to explain why I like cards, and sometimes I'm not really sure why I like them. That's fun. This is my favorite Pentacles card, which in this deck is called the Discs. This is the Knave of Discs. She's just so dreamy and feels so like free floating, and but like still grounded, and I just really like, I like the dancer aspect of this one. I'm not a dancer, but I appreciate the art form of dancing. And then my favorite Wands card, which in this deck is called the Clubs, is again the 9. Swear I didn't do this on purpose. Didn't even realize I did this till I started making videos. I like the way the lizard like blends in, and it's like watching her read the book. I know like these illustrations weren't created for the tarot. They took like existing illustrations and, you know, made them into a tarot deck. So I understand that some people have issues because it doesn't follow the traditional imagery. I'm still learning tarot, so you would think I would have that issue, but I really don't. I mean, I can get like the sense of the 9 of Wands card from this illustration. I personally think they did a pretty good job. There are some illustrations in here I see that I'm like, yeah, I don't really see how that fits that particular card, but you know, I can work with it. I know I've heard, you know, I've watched other videos, people talking about this deck and these illustrations, and how some people have issues with like the creepiness of this, and how the illustrations feel like Alice in Wonderland, but like a dark, twisted Alice in Wonderland. And you know, some of them have issues with how the kids, or the female figures look like children. I don't really have, sorry, there was a hair. I don't really, I mean, I see where people have that issue. I don't really have that issue. I just think that they're kind of creepy people looking at you, watching you. Like I said, it's kind of a creepy deck, but I find a way to work with it, and it works with me, and I've gotten some really good readings from this deck, and I really enjoy working with it. This one creeps me out. So yeah, that's the Nicoletta Ceccoli Tarot mini deck. Alright, so the next mini deck I'm going to talk about is the Linestrider Tarot mini. This one doesn't come with a guidebook. I got it purposefully to work on my intuition and start to kind of try to work with the tarot without going to a guidebook. I do intend on getting the full version of this deck at some point, just haven't done it yet. So this is the, my voice got really far away, I'm sorry. This is the Linestrider Tarot mini deck. So this one, funny story, the day after I got it, I was looking at the cards, I was doing all the reading for myself and eating dinner at the same time. By the way, that's a really bad idea, don't do that, and this is why. If you look, you see that weird coloring? Yeah, I spilled my dinner on the deck. I was very upset about that. I had to spend, I don't know, about half an hour cleaning it off. I had to let the cards dry. It actually didn't damage the deck too much. I was pretty surprised. You know, you can see there's maybe a little bit, you know, a little bit of bending, but that might also come from how I shuffle the cards. But yeah, it didn't damage, it just left this weird coloring. You can see, like, that's where I spilled my dinner. So, don't eat dinner while you're reading tarot cards, or you might spill your food all over your cards. I did think about replacing this at one point because that was bothering me, and the food I was eating had cheese on it, so I had like pieces of melted cheese on the cards for a while until I scraped it all off. But the deck still works with me. And it's gonna sound weird, but it didn't want to be replaced. It didn't want to be tossed out, so I continue to work with it. It's when I still, like I said, I'm still learning tarot, so I still struggle to work with this deck. I am getting better, and I do love CeColli Thompson's illustrations. So this is one of my favorite Major Arcana cards, the High Priestess. I love the different elements of it. The scarf there with I think that's Hebrew. Ankh. She got the pomegranates around her neck. The branches as horns. It's just a beautifully illustrated High Priestess. And then the Hierophant. I know this is a difficult card for a lot of people, and I understand because of the connection with the church. I tend to look at this card more as like just a general teacher and tradition. Not like, I know a lot of people look at tradition as like a negative thing. I think there are good things to be found in our tradition and history, and that's how I view this card. And I really like this Hierophant card. I like the little bear back there. Those blank eyes. And the key is, I just like the way that the background here, the way that the background here is illustrated. I just really think it's a pretty card. And then my favorite Cups card is the Four of Cups. Sorry, a bit of nudity there. I like the octopus holding the cups behind her there, and there's a sense of like illusion, transparency type of thing. I tend to draw this card a lot when I work with this deck. Just why it's one of my favorite cards. And then my favorite swords card is the Two of Swords. I like Birds of Prey, and I like the fact that this one is hooded. So it's, you know, represents like the Blind Justice, and I love the detail on the bird. It's so fine detail, and I just think it is gorgeous. My favorite Pentacles card is the Seven of Pentacles. I like the little bird building his nest around him. I just think that's really cool. My favorite Wands card is the Eight of Wands. I like the movement in this card. I grew up in the country, so I like the deer leaping. Often saw that as a kid, deer running around. So I really like that, and I really just like the movement of that. You can feel, you know, the tension and the movement and the strength and the movement of that Eight of Wands cards, and I really appreciate that. I really like the way that CeColli Thompson has used negative space in this deck, and the coloring, sparse coloring. I just think it's a really pretty deck, and I like the space that this deck gives you to use your intuition and to you know, look deeper into the card meanings, and it's one of my favorite decks. So pretty. Just the detail on the sword on that, it's just so pretty. Yep, so that is the Linestrider Tarot Mini by CeColli Thompson. And the last mini deck I want to talk about is the Royo Dark Tarot. This does have nudity in it, so if that bothers you, no judgment, but you might want to skip this part. So this is the Royo Dark Tarot. It's similar to the Nicoletta Ceccoli in that this artwork wasn't created for this deck. It was existing illustrations from Royo that were taken and put into a tarot deck. I got the mini deck because that was what was available to me. I've since seen like the larger deck and I don't really see that there's a lot of difference, so I'll probably just stick with the mini on this one. Same with the Nicoletta Ceccoli. I've seen the larger one and it doesn't seem to be that much larger, and there doesn't seem to be that much reason for me to get the larger deck. So I will start with my favorite Major Arcana cards. First one is Strength. As you can see on this deck, Strength is 11 instead of, it's usually 8. But I like this Strength card. This vampire looking woman stabbing the zombie guy, or attacking the zombie guy. I don't know, I just like the feeling of power in that, and you know, she is you know, taking a stand and yeah, I just like that. Sorry, there's like the problem with the like decks that are on black paper is you can see my fingerprints, so that's cool. My other favorite Major Arcana card in this is the Death card. I just like the feeling of power in this Death card. Like, that woman she is in charge. She may be the Grim Reaper with her little side there, but she is in charge. And then the next card I'm going to show you, I will say, is a bit graphic. It's the Two of Swords, or Two of Cups, sorry. Two of Cups. It's one of my favorite Two of Cups cards. I like the depiction of passion between those two. And it's just kind of, for me anyway, looking at that, it's just a kind of a peaceful card. That probably seems weird. My favorite Swords card is the Eight of Swords. I like the expression on this woman. And Swords cards, you know, they tend to be difficult swords, difficult cards for people. And I just like the way this one is depicted. My favorite Pentacles card is the Seven Pentacles for this deck. I tend to pull this card a lot when I'm working with this deck. I like the see-through aspect of her. There's a lot of transparency again. And with her leather jacket, she just, even with being like transparent see-through, she looks like a badass. And then my favorite Wands card is actually the Four of Wands, and that's because there's a little misprint on this. I thought about returning the deck because of that, but then I thought, you know what, no, it adds character to the deck and I like it. I like this card. She's just very pretty. So yeah, that's the Royo Dark Tarot. It's a bit of a darker deck, as you can see. It's a bit more, like I said, there's nudity in this deck. You could even say it's a bit sexual in nature. Royo's illustrations tend to be that way. They tend to depict women in a certain manner. I don't know why, but this deck feels really feminine to me. I tend to use this deck for love readings. I know that might seem odd given the nature of the illustrations, but it works. I mean, it works for this deck. I don't know why this deck, for me in particular, likes to be used that way, but it does. So that's how I use this deck, and I just, for me, I know this might not be true for a lot of people, but for me, this deck just feels very strong and feminine power. And so I very much like using this deck. It's very Conan the Barbarian there, right there. So yeah, that's the Royo Dark Tarot mini. So I wasn't going to talk about the tiny tarot, but I was putting it back in order after dropping it. And I did want to just say a couple things. For as tiny as this little deck is, I think it is incredibly well illustrated. Like, it is very detailed for being so tiny. They did a really good job with keeping like the detail of the cards in there. Sorry, I'm just gonna kind of flip through the random ones. That is a tiny tower card, but you can tell what's happening there. I mean, if, you know, you have good eyes, or you magnify it like I'm currently doing with my phone camera. Oh, sorry for my nails, they're gross right now. Like, that's pretty good for being that small to be that clear of an illustration. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. Like, it's a novelty item. It's definitely not meant to like be used, but they still like did a really good job like putting illustrations together. I think anyway, like, it's pretty well done for a teeny tiny Six of Cups. You can still see it. You can still see a little flower in there. So I just thought that was, it's a fun, like I said, it's like a novelty item. I just have it to say that I have it, because I'm obsessed with miniature things, so should have a, you know, miniature tarot deck. It only makes sense. I will say I had actually read with this. It is impossible to read with, but it's fun. Just for like fun little game. Little King of Pentacles. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that one. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.